I'm Joseph Moses Oleshangay. Is a Tanzanian citizen, born in northern part of the country from a Maasai family in Ngorongoro district. And I'm professionally an advocate, a lawyer, in a number of many issues that include also the matters affecting my community, the Maasai community. The reality of the Maasai in Tanzania is very unfortunate. We are in a very, I can say in catch-22, we are in dilemma. In dilemma of many things, of losing the land, losing the economy, losing everything that makes us a community. We are a pastoral community, so I grew up in a pastoral community. And for us, as Maasai, without cows, there is nothing. We don't need destroy building. We need cows to graze in peace. And so if you take the land, as the government is doing, you actually take everything. Because for us, land, of course, it means a grazing field, it means home, it means a place we do our cultural issues, some religious aspects. So it's not just a piece of land. So the reality of the Maasai is the government is now displacing many people. In Loliondo, more than 70,000 people were actually displaced last year in 14 villages. And the government is indulging in another process in Ngorongoro, which actually is my home place, affecting, the government says, close to 100,000 people. So you can estimate some are actually moving. We are still, part of us, there. But we are there in a situation like government is limiting access to medical facilities, limiting access to school. We are not in catch-22 alone. Actually, we are in a war of survival. To me, as a person, recognition is very important. To my family, to all those surrounding me, is a very good honor for what I do. Is a message that maybe I'm doing it right. I think no one can award a person doing wrong things. So to me, it's a message like, this is right, continue this way, so which I think I will do. But also to the people that I represent in many ways, being an active voice for them, litigating on their behalf, is also a message that at least their voices is being heard somewhere, and they are being supported. So the media covering, the people speaking out from the corners we've never been, and the people who have never actually been in Tanzania, but at least speaking on our behalf. And I think it also sends a message of solidarity to our people, that you are not alone, stand for your right, do something right, ensure that we collectively address this problem. Is a message that we are not alone. And so to my community, the Maasai community in northern Tanzania, I think this award is also for them, because I could not be doing that alone. But the last one, it also means a shame to those violating our human rights, because if you award someone for protecting human rights, it means there is a violator. And I think this is also a message to the violators that this is not right. They should rethink their ways. Yeah. We also fight for the Maasai rights in courts, for which, if I can remember, we are almost now having 14 cases for 2 years. 2022, 2023, we have 14 cases in different courts, so, all surrounding the land. So one of the activities that I do, beside this activism, and is litigating on behalf of the Maasai community, for which so far we have been doing better. It's challenging in many ways, you know, like 100,000 people are having a problem, and you take that problem to one judge, who can either by mistake do some errors, then you lose everything for the people. But at least we are trying, because there is no other option we can do. So we are in court in many ways. The people of Europe, they can do so much. This is a human right crisis, and they're human beings. They can support mitigating the impact of repression. That's one. But again, actually, the problem we are having were actually started by the people from here, from British, some of the German characters in the Frankfurt Zoological Society by that time, Professor Jimek back in the 50s, and my own parents were evicted in Serengeti the same way. Of course, there were no guns used by that time, but they were ultimately evicted, which I think we need to correct that legacy. And I also feel that there are, for example, some of the Global North taxpayers' money going all the way, supporting our government, and supporting the repression, which I think, though they are not taking part in shooting, they are complicit to it, because they are providing the money to the machineries violating human rights, and which I think if they can stop, they will be doing a lot of justice to our people. They are doing what they are doing now. They are displacing our people because of money. I'm very sure of that. It's not conservation, because though they say it's conservation, but how can you replace ordinary pastoralists with a person who comes and kills the animals? That's entirely business. Out of many cases we are doing now, I remember one most, and it's for some reason. It's not for good. It concerned about an elderly person, was 84 years old. During operation last year by the government, the old man was shot several times by the military, and was taken away, was alive. And several other people, there were 159 people were arrested. But they took him with the injuries, bullet injuries. And some of the people were brought to court and prosecuted. They never did anything. They were released after 6 months. But the old man was not brought to court. So he went with the injuries. He was never brought. So which we filed a case trying to force the government to bring him into court. We don't know whether he's alive or no. He has not been brought to court, and it has been 1 year and several months. He's almost 1 year and 5 months. We don't know. Is he alive? Is he dead? Actually, every single day the families are calling me. What should we do? The court saying there are no clear indication that the police were responsible. It might be the minister, but it's still the government. And so, because we sued the people who arrested him, and there were many people, 159 people, and others were brought by the same police and prosecuted in court. So they must know where the other person was. And so I remember that most, because it is about an enforced disappearance of a human being. They are always hopeful, like maybe he's alive. And it's very painful, because a human being who is lost, a very elderly person, 84 years old, cannot fight anyone. He's actually fighting for his own life. Yeah, that's what I think I remember most. It is not for me to create what the Maasai will be doing, but because I understand, because I live in that community, the Maasai need their land, no more, no less. But I think there is a silver lining somewhere. There is hope. Maybe there is a day we can be in peace in our areas.